Hey YouTube, it's Marita, and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. In this edition, we're going to talk about the T's. T-E-A-S, T's, yes. People have asked me many times about this test and my thoughts, and we're going to share those today. You want to see what I'm talking about? Please stay tuned.
Moving on is pretty overdue. Long vibes, flipping like an NFL view. I don't really need somebody new. Keep moving, let the minute come to you. Everybody needs a hobby, boo. Don't let me just make one out of you. Can't nobody mend your heart for you. There ain't nothing like super glue. Just keep moving, hot loose ends. You choose it. Keep moving, hot loose ends. You choose it. Keep going. Let it loose, let it go and away. Let it loose, let it go and away. Let it loose, let it go and away. You get it all, try to watch your way. Elbow, wrist, touch your hat, blow a kiss.
Welcome back. My name is Dr. Marita P. I am a registered nurse. I have been a nurse for 16 years. I am an OB/GYN, well baby nurse, nursery nurse, and I'm a nurse educator, associate professor. I teach at a HBCU, and I am doctorally prepared. So now that we've had that all out the way, the T's. Many people have asked me for the past year, what is it about this T's? Is it hard to pass? What is it testing on? Things like that. So before we go there, let's just talk about a little bit what the T's is. Now, before I go there, I'm not well versed on it in the sense that I never took the T's. We didn't have that back when I was in nursing school. I went to nursing school back in 2002. In 2002, my school did not have an entry exam for the T's or for nursing school. You just came in based off of your GPA and whatever other requirements that they had. But T's was not a thing back then. We did have something called the HESI exit exam. So I had to take an exit exam, but I never took an entrance exam, shall I say. So what is the T's? The T's is called it's a test of essential academics. I'm reading from the phone. It's a test of essential academic skills. It is designed specifically to assess a student's preparedness in entering the health science fields. So it's a standardized test. This test is no different than taking an ACT or SAT, except for it's specifically to health sciences. So this test is comprised of 170 questions set up in a multiple choice format with 4 option answers. Questions are designed to test the basic academic skills you will need to perform in the classes of areas of reading, math, science, English, and language usage. So honestly, these are things that you should have already known or done while you were in school. Just like how the ACT and SAT, these are things that you should have already acquired or knowledge you should have acquired even in high school. So this test is really for someone who, if you can read well, you can do math calculations, you understand some science, and you are well versed in language and grammar and the use of English or English and language and grammar, then you should be fine on this test. So 170 questions. And it's multiple choice format. So if you are not a good test taker, you know that you're not a good test taker. People have asked me, how do I prepare for this? Well, if you are not prepared because if you went to school, then what you need to do is simply go online. Amazon sells these books, and purchase you a T's study guide or a T's prep book. Purchase you one. Go ahead and invest the money in it so that you can go ahead and pass this test. The higher your score, the more likely you are of being successful in nursing school anyway. Do not be intimidated by this test. This test is no other. It's just another way to determine if you are qualified or how successful you will be in the nursing program. So you have to take this. Most schools are requiring that you take this test. I do recommend that you get the book, study the book. If you are intimidated or stressed by it, do one page at a time. Do one page today. A couple of days, come back and do another page. Learn, just like I tell people to do the NCLEX questions. I always say, go read the questions, go see what the answer is, and read the rationale. Learn how to take the test. But again, this test is based on material that you should already know from high school. You should already have basic reading principles, basic math principles, basic science principles, basic English and literature and grammar principles. If you feel that you did not get a great education in that regard when it came to high school, then yes, I recommend that you definitely get a book, a test book. And again, you can get it from Amazon. Just type in T's and something will come up. And of course, you can get it probably other bookstores as well. But Amazon is like a go-to. You can get it, Prime. You can get it in 2 days. But definitely go to Amazon and pick up a book, and definitely prepare yourself that way. So someone asked the question: is the T's harder than the SAT? So the answer was, just like SAT or ACT, the T's exam tests the material that you should have learned during high school, which is what I just said. You should already know this stuff. The T's exam is designed to be rigorous because nursing school is rigorous. Oh my gosh, thank you. Somebody said it. Nursing school is rigorous. We don't want everybody being nurses. Everybody ain't cut out to be a nurse. So the difficulty of the test allows nursing schools to assess whether or not you are prepared for their program. So the test is designed to see if you are cut for nursing school, period. So when I teach a pre-nursing class called Intro to Nursing. And this is pre-nursing in our program. It's not in the program, but it is part of the matriculation of the program. And they're not in the program yet, but it is my way. I teach the class. They purposely put me in the front of this whole thing, this intro class, to teach the class because of the fact that I get to see firsthand who is truly ready, who is ready to sacrifice, who's ready for the rigor of the nursing program. It is not what people think. So again, it kind of determines how ready you are for nursing school. Again, you should have already know the material from high school. It says on the this website that I'm looking at, an academic website, it says students can take the TEAS exam up to 3 times with at least 30 days between attempts in 1 year time period to reach the desired benchmark. So according to this, you can take the test 3 times in 1 year, at least 30 days apart. So remember that. It says on here, how long should I study for the TEAS? How long should I study for the TEAS? This website is saying you should give yourself about 6 weeks at least to study for the TEAS. So 6 weeks is what you should allow for time to study for this exam. 6 consecutive weeks, okay? Don't start off in January studying 2 weeks here, then you come back around to it in March, then you come back around to it, whatever, and you decide you're going to take the test. No. 6 consecutive weeks is what's recommended that you utilize to take this, that you prepare for this test. So step 1, decide that you want to go to nursing school. Step 2, go order the book. Get the study guide or whatever prep book there is out there. Get you 2 or 3 of them from 2 or 3 different websites, authors, publishing companies. Why is that? Because they may focus on different things. So I do recommend you buying more than one. And just to see what kind of questions they are, how the questions read. This is the same advice I give for NCLEX review. See how the questions are, see how they read. Definitely see the rationale. Why is the answer right or wrong? Even if you get the question right, read why it's correct, because you need to learn how to take the test. One question, it says, how much does it usually cost? It says about $70, but again, that's depending on where you go, so don't take that as law. If you don't pass the TEAS, again, you have 2 more attempts in the same year, 30 days apart. The next question says, what is the hardest part of the TEAS test? It says the ATI TEAS science section is 63 minutes long with 53 questions. It is one of the most difficult sections and has questions mainly on human anatomy, but also scientific reasoning, life, and physical sciences. So, with science being the most difficult part, and being that the science component for nursing is human anatomy and physiology, I would recommend you spend some time focusing on the science component. It says here that it's the most hardest section is the science. So if you know that you're not that well in science, you need to go ahead and spend some time, more time in that area than you do other areas. If you know you have good reading comprehension skills, okay, so be it. If you feel like you're pretty good at dosage calculations or doing some basic algebra type math, then okay, you're okay. But according to this, it says the most difficult sections and questions has been mainly on human anatomy. So you may need to spend some time reviewing or refreshing those types of that kind of content. And so I definitely recommend you. It says it's 63 minutes long with 53 questions. It says, does every school recommend the T's? Not every school does, but majority of them do. So majority of the time you'll be going to a school that does recommend the T's, and you need to go ahead and to do that. So here are some definite tips when it comes to passing this test. So we talked about already getting the book, okay? But here's some basic tips. Number one, you got to know what to expect. So that's what this video is for. I'm kind of telling you what to expect on the T's, okay? So we talked about the 4 components of reading, math, science, and English language usage, okay? It said in here that science is the most difficult part, which makes sense if you think about it, because nursing is a science-based field. Number 2, it recommends to get a study buddy or form a study group. So maybe if a couple of you are going into nursing school at the same time, get with somebody so you can study and prepare for the T's, and maybe take it the same day type of thing. Utilize online test prep resources. So in addition to purchasing your book from Amazon or wherever you purchase it from, utilize online free resources that either ATI may provide, or type in T's test prep and see if there's any other free programs or free test questions or free anything that will help you prepare for this test. It's something you can easily do. Maybe you are waiting in line for something. It's taking 30 minutes, or maybe you're waiting on prescriptions, you're waiting on something. Go to the website, go to a website on your phone, and just kind of go through and randomly answer questions, just to kind of see how your mind is. Are you answering the questions? Are you on point, or are you having difficulty in a certain subject area? If you find that you're having difficulty in a certain subject area, then definitely go back and review those areas. Get printed study guides. That's what I just talked about, the book. Get you the book from Amazon. Organize your study time. We talked about it takes about 6 weeks for you that you need to prepare for this test. 6 consecutive weeks that you need to prepare for this test. So maybe spend a week and a half or whatever focusing only on the reading section. Maybe spend another week and a half on the math section. Maybe spend 2 weeks on the science section, because that is the hardest part of the test. Spend another week or so on the English component of it. And then maybe spend another week and a half putting it all together and going through test prep questions online as well as your books. The last study tip, it says to take breaks. So when it comes to taking breaks, obviously you need to definitely stop and rest. That's pretty simple. Now, I will say this, going back to what to expect, the breakdown is like this. Reading, there's 64 minutes that you get to do the reading section. Math, there's 54 minutes that you take to get the math section. Science, 63 minutes. And English language usage, 28 minutes. So you spend the least amount of time, if it's only 28 minutes in English and language usage, then you see where you need to focus your time and attention to. Reading and science are the 2 areas with the highest amount of time that you get to answer these questions. So therefore, you may need to go ahead and focus on those areas, especially if you know that you're good in math. It says in here there is an additional 20 test questions that are not counted towards your final grade, because those are just kind of pilot questions. So every exam, standardized exam, has like pilot questions that they throw in there. I had to take, for my NCLEX, I took the entire 265 question exam because of the fact that I was one of the pilot people who had to take the whole exam, where they tested new questions out. So they may have questions in there that are just kind of questions, and you won't know which is which. So, there's no point of even worrying about that. Just know how to take the test. ATI is who developed the T's. So you may want to go to the ATI website and see what they have to offer for free on that website. ATI, which is called the Assessment Technologies Institute. A lot of schools are utilizing ATI for clinical components, for extra resources, for help with NCLEX prep, things like that. So ATI is something else you need to look into, even pre-nursing. Take an in-person test prep class. If you're that serious about it, go take you an in-person test prep class. Basically where you have someone kind of teaching you or going over the key components of that test. And you have, that test, you have people going over the key components of how to focus and study for those areas. Again, you have to do the work. If you're serious about getting into nursing school, you have to do the work. So get you some review books, get you a study group, go to the websites, do the online, or not the online, the in-person test prep. Go to ATI's website and see what they have to offer. One thing about the test itself, it says to take your time. It says taking an exam should never be a race, and neither should be preparation for a test. Slow and steady is what wins the race. So remember that. I have seen students who will sit there and try to be the first one done on the test. No, this is your career you're talking about. Take your time as long as it allows you to take the time. So if it takes you however many minutes it allows you to take the test, just go through and answer the questions and just kind of think of your answers. Think about your answers. It says maintain confidence. One should be confident in their abilities in preparation for the TEAS test. Students looking to enroll in a nursing program have a strong academic background. They have learned so much of the content they will be tested on. Proper preparation for the TEAS test. Use these tips listed as we discussed to help you succeed on this exam, this test. So again, the key to this is to know that you should have already learned the material in high school. You should have already learned it. If you don't feel like you have, or if you come from a high school that, they didn't teach me nothing. Okay, well, that's okay. What you need to do is go through all these steps, okay? Just to recap one more time. The test is you need to know what to expect. You're going to have 4 sections: reading, math, science, and English. They have various time periods that you can take those components of the test. Science is by far the most hardest part of the test, with 53 questions for 63 minutes. A focus is on human anatomy. So if you don't know your anatomy and physiology, I suggest you go back and review that. Number 2 recommends that you get a study buddy or a group. Utilize online test prep resources that we just discussed from either ATI or other resources that are out there. If you feel like you need on-person or in-person help, go ahead and take a class in person with people who actually teach you how to study, prepare for that exam. Get printed study guides, which is what I said, purchase from Amazon. Organize your study time. It takes about 6 weeks that you should prepare for this test. 6 weeks minimum. If you know you need more than 6 weeks, take more than 6 weeks. But 6 weeks minimum is what you need to prepare for this test. 6 consecutive weeks to prepare for this test. Do not, again, like I say, space your time. I'm going to do 2 weeks in January. No, you need to, when you're ready to take this test, you need to take the first 6 to 8 weeks prior to that test date and work backwards. So maybe you need to look at your calendar as well. Maybe look at your calendar, go to the website and see where the test is being offered. First of all, you got to know when you're trying to apply for nursing school. So you got to kind of organize and prepare backwards. So if this August 2021 is when you plan to start nursing school, and you may need a couple of attempts. If I were you, I would definitely factor in, need a couple of attempts. You don't want to have to take a couple of attempts, obviously, for this test, but you want to have enough time. So what I'm saying is, don't plan to go to nursing school in August, but you go take the TEAS in July. Because if you don't succeed in passing it the first time, you're not starting in August. So you want to plan ahead in that way. So if school starts in August, if I were you, I would have that TEAS taken probably by March. Which means if you have it taken by March the first time, you have to wait at least 30 days. So then you can take it at the end of April or take it at the end of May. Give yourself some time to prepare again, okay? So you want to at least allow yourself 2 or 3 times to take the test. It gives you 3 times in 1 calendar year. So if it gives you 3 times in 1 calendar year, definitely take the time. So work backwards. I start school in August. I want to allow myself a time to, if I'm not successful, that I have time to retake it again. Now you should be successful, but the thing is, I'm a realist kind of person. I'm definitely a realist. I'm like, okay, in case I don't want to not be able to start nursing school on time. So let me go ahead and prepare myself for that. So let's say, for instance, you do plan to start in March of 2021 because you plan on enrolling in August of 2021. Then guess when you need to start studying? In January of 2021. So that means right now in December of 2020, you should be purchasing your materials from Amazon or wherever you get it from. You should be flipping through the book. If you already have materials, start flipping through the book a little bit. Don't be serious about it. Just kind of see what's in there right now. Start serious in January, maybe every weekend. Every weekend or whatever you do, dedicate some time to focus on studying that material. So just be mindful that that's just kind of how it is sometimes. You have to focus and pay attention to be ready for this test. Now, hopefully this has enlightened some of you. You all have been asking me about the T's forever. And I'm just now getting around to do this video. For one, because I was not well versed in it myself. And I do not want to come to you with material that I know nothing about. This is factual, what I just told you. This is not my opinion on this information. I read directly from a website. This is factual information about the T's and what you can expect with the T's. The information I provided for you about the study tips, that is my opinion, but as an instructor, as an associate professor, that's what I know works. You have to be ready to take these kind of tests. So again, I'm not setting you up for failure, saying you're going to fail, but what I am saying is allow yourself time to take the test again if you choose to. And maybe you do pass, but you don't get the score that you really wanted to get. So allow yourself time to retake the test if you, again, choose to better your score, to better your chances of getting into a competitive program. Notice I keep saying in my videos, competitive program. I would have to say, for the most part, the more competitive the program in general, there is nothing in totality here, the better the program. The better the faculty. I always say look at NCLEX pass rates for a school. So I'm not going to really go into that right now. You should see my other videos on how to choose a nursing school and things like that. But look at those NCLEX pass rates. Look at the caliber of faculty that they have. Are they doctorally prepared faculty? If they're doctorally prepared faculty, they are experts in their field, or should be experts in their field. Now, with that being said, all doctorally prepared faculty are not great. So I do not want to pass off that, oh, everyone who's doctorally prepared is the best of the best of the best. No, they are not, because I have met some who I'm like, who gave you your degree? Type of thing. I've met instructors like that, professors like that, like, who gave you your degree? You know, what school was handing them out? Because I'm like, what is this about? So I don't want to say that to make you think that everybody's perfect or great because they're doctorally prepared, but I do want to impress upon you the importance of knowing where you're going to school to see what your outcomes are going to be. So go to the website, find out what the T score has to be in order to get accepted in their program. Just find those things out. So that's part of your prep work that you need to be doing. You need to be doing that right now if you're trying to go to school next August, okay? The whole part of nursing school is planning for nursing school. You have to plan. You have to prepare. I have plenty of videos that we talk about study tips. I talk about, are you ready for nursing school? I talk about different things, and I'll probably go ahead and link those at the end in the end screen, so you can go ahead and go straight to those videos if you need to, if you haven't already seen them already, just so you can have an understanding of what you are getting yourself into when it comes to nursing school in general and what you can expect. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully that's answered your questions on T's. If you have more questions and concerns, please put those in the comment section below, and follow me on IG. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. Because you share these videos is what tricks the algorithm, and those likes trick it as well, because of the fact that it lets YouTube know, the world know that people found this video valuable. And again, people have asked me time and time again about the T, so hopefully this answers your questions. If not, let's chat in the comments per usual. Until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.